You know, there's a saying that says, love your neighbor as yourself. The hard part of that question is, who is my neighbor? Ruth and Roy have sought to love neighbors that live far from them, unknown people in communities and villages that most of us will never meet. Places like Lilongwe, Malawi, and Bogota, Colombia. They have embraced the needs of their neighbors in the poorest countries in the world because they believe if I am a person, if you are a person who has an unfulfilled need or a dream to achieve, they will be your neighbor.
Well, I came to California to catch Roy. He said, if you want me, come to California. And I married an engineer, and then he changed careers.
It was time for me to move on to investment banking, and really became the first technology analyst at Hambrecht & Quist. The really fun project that I got to work on was the initial public offering of Genentech. And we started at about a $20 price that everyone thought would be fair. And the day of the offering, the price actually went to $80. So it was an extremely interesting time.
I admire the work he did at Hambrecht & Quist. I admire the directions in which he took the investment banking business in the early days of biotechnology.
Well, when I left Hambrecht & Quist, I wanted to stay involved with small company investments. So the combination of working with small companies was a very good platform, so I could have a schedule that I could also work with nonprofits.
I think I've always been passionate about music. I had two sisters and one a twin, and we sang most of the time, I think. I actually was playing hymns before I ever took lessons. That's how dedicated I was. I love children, and I think that if you can help a child find his voice, that's a real gift. So I think just working with them one-on-one to find their voice, and that was very, very precious.
She knew that all children needed music in their lives, and it was through her efforts that it got put back into the schools.
They took us on a field trip to a school program, which they had some kind of a grant to study Kadai, and they use the solfege music scale, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and the children can visualize where the pitch is.
Ruth was a big part in my decision to return to music teaching after taking a few years off. So I went up and observed Ruth Rogers teaching a second grade class, and I was just delighted at what I saw going on in the classroom.
I think art and music provide a really, really happy time in the schools. Happy time anytime they're singing or creating art, and which is one reason I wanted to get it back in the schools, because those children are happy.
What I find really inspiring about the way Ruth and Roy live their lives is their commitment to others.
Philanthropy is important because I think it is working with the community.
I've learned a lot about community service from my grandparents. I've kind of learned the importance of giving back.
I think everyone should think about, what do I want to contribute to this community? You can contribute money, obviously. You can contribute time, effort, and organizational and backing for these places. So
to be able to work in that and to contribute in any way, I think is just part of life's rewards. So it's just very important to me.
One of the delights of my life, and one reason I gave this program, the music program, to Community School of Music and Art, is because I was having, every 2 years I had another grandchild for 10 years. And that was so much fun. And I made sure they all had music lessons.
we use music in our lives, it's part of our lives, and we just understand the role that CSMA plays in bringing music to a broad section of northern Santa Clara County community.
Well, I think with the Community School of Music and Arts, we're often asked the question, how many all-stars did you develop? How many superstars have gone on to brilliant careers? And fortunately, CSMA has produced some of those individuals, but I think the thrill that we get out of it is really the slogan, Arts for All. And we reach into the whole community, from the handicapped to the very young, 3, 4, 5 years old, up into we have students coming who are in their 80s and 90s.
I actually really remember this building being built, and I remember my grandma just like being so excited every time she got a big donation and was getting there, and just how she was just such a go-getter. And I just remember coming for the first time. I think it was my sister and I came one night. I think it was to the opening party, and we just walked around the building, and I remember just being in such awe of what my grandparents had done. I'd really like to say to my grandparents tonight, thanks for everything you've done. Thanks for being such amazing people that we all are inspired to be like.
Ruth and Roy, thank you. Thank you for leadership, for generosity, for contributing to the Community School of Music and Arts and understanding why that was important. I don't know for sure, but they, and lots of other people in this community, but especially people like them and them, have done the things that made CSMA happen. And our community is stronger, for sure, because of CSMA's existence and its success.